Bitch, you left me on my own. Ay, onto that dirty now.
Peace. What's good, guys? How's it going? Hope you guys are doing well. Let's talk about and discuss NXT for October the 18th, 2022. This was the go-home show for this Saturday's Halloween Havoc. We will go over and discuss the match card, and I'll give you guys my predictions. Overall, this show for NXT was okay. It could have been better, but it was alright. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, comment down below. So we kicked the show off with Pick Your Poison, Roxanne Perez versus Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley was fucking massively over in this match. Crowd loved her. And Roxanne Perez got a good little bit of offense in. Not too much and not too little. It was just right. Rhea wins via the Riptide. She celebrated along with Judgment Day post-match. Moving on. Cameron Grimes, he's backstage with the Shit Brothers, a.k.a. the Good Brothers, Anderson and Gallows. So Grimes says he knows that the Schism has caused some trouble. That's okay. He has the hottest tag team in the business with him tonight. Gallows says the OC has been the buzz of the business, and they're too sweet. He asks Grimes why he thinks they accepted his offer. Grimes pulls out a shit ton of money, and then Anderson says they just want to go to the moon. Next, we come back from commercial. Tony D'Angelo and Stax is in the ring. So, Tony asks everyone how they're doing. He says this is a big night, and he can tell by the look on in Stax's eyes, he's ready to throw it down. Tony tells Stax to help him in the ring. Tony says it's important for Stax to know that this match is all about respect and proving who you are. So Tony hypes up the crowd, and then he says, we're going to have the match, but we got to take a quick commercial break. And I thought that was really good shit right there. Then we had Grayson Waller. He's backstage with Mackenzie Mitchell. So Waller dismisses the idea that he's off his game. He reminds everyone he already defeated Apollo Crews. He's ready to end the worst comeback in WWE history. And one more time he will defeat. And then all of a sudden, Chucky appears. Chucky says Waller versus Crews at Halloween Havoc will be a spin the wheel, make the deal match. Chucky warns Waller not to interrupt him. Chucky goes over the potential stipulations and says the wheel can be Waller's friend if he lets it. Waller then runs away. He dips out. He's nervous as fuck. So then we hear Shinsuke Nakamura's music play. The crowd goes fucking wild and insane, as they should. I'm glad to see Nakamura back. He was the pallbearer for Antonio Inoki. So I'm glad that he's back from that. And I think Tony Inoki had a ton of pallbearers. A ton. Like a bunch of people were carrying the casket. I haven't watched it yet, but that's just what I've heard. So this was a really good match between the two. They worked pretty well together, Stax and Nakamura. So Nakamura hits a Kinshasa. Stax rolls out the ring, and then Nakamura hits another Kinshasa for the 3. Tony then tells Stax that he's proud of him and that he's the cornerstone of the family. So that was fucking awesome right there. Moving on, backstage, Axiom and Nathan Frazier, they're backstage. They're reminiscing about their Best of 3 series. So, for whatever reason, Axiom is going to be cheering for Frazier at Halloween Havoc, which is dumb as shit. Like, what the fuck? Like, ugh, that's just nasty. That's gross. Come on, man. Have some dignity. Then he's interrupted by fucking Von Wagner. Oh, my God. Get him off television. Get him off. So, Wagner, he says that it's too hard. It's too bad you get no points for being an internet darling. Von says there are 3 classes will amount to nothing because no one is going to stop him at Halloween Havoc. Not Carmelo, not Wesley, and not Ora Mensah. not you, soccer boy. And then Fraser steps up and threatens Von Wagner, but Axiom holds him back. Next, Sonya Deville versus Alba Fire. So this was a short, quick match. Fire wins via roll up. Post match, we then see Mandy Rose, who's looking sexy as fuck. So she says Fire made the wrong decision by abducting her. Mandy says at Halloween Havoc she's fighting fire with fire, but she'll be more callous, more vicious, and more ruthless. So Fire, for whatever reason, I don't know if she got superpowers or whatever type of shit she has, she's able to fend off 3 people in Sonya Deville, JC Jane, and Gigi Dolan. Like, what the fuck? And so Mandy tries to get into the ring, and she has the bat at her throat, that being Alba Fire. And so Rose, she retreats, and then Alba Fire grabs the belt and stands tall. I hope and pray to the creator above that we do not have Alba Fire win this Saturday. I hope not. I seriously hope not. Next, backstage, Wesley and Ora Mensah, they were talking about something. They were immediately attacked by Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams, which led into their match. So Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams, they defeat Wesley and Ora Mensah via the flying leg drop. Carmelo needs to change that finisher, in my opinion. I feel like there shouldn't even been a match. There should have been just a promo segment. Carmelo should have had a promo segment along with Trick Williams. Didn't really need it. Post match, there was a brawl that ensued with all 5 guys of the NXT North American Championship ladder match. And so Nathan Frazier, he gets on the top rope and he does a crossbody to Von Wagner. But before then, Von Wagner was able to take out all the guys involved. Schism, they're backstage. So Gacy says, for months, Cameron Grimes has been running away from Schism's open arms. And just a matter of days, he runs into the arms, he runs into the arms of a club. Gacy says his hypocrisy is running rampant in NXT, and that Grimes is the poster boy of it. Gacy goes on and says nothing will stop the Schism from tearing their formidable opponents down tonight. So Mackenzie Mitchell, she's backstage. She's talking to Braun Breaker. She asked about last week. So Breaker says that JD and Ilya, they started it, so he finished it. The same can happen tonight. He said he doesn't mind cutting them up in half with a spear. Breaker says that he has 2 of the very best for his title, and he can go either around them or through them. McKenzie asked about the KO show, Mikael Owens tonight. Braun said he looks up to Owens as he did in the short time he spent in NXT when Kevin was there. Braun said he watched all the KO show segments and that he knows something's going to happen. Tonight will be no different. The Schism versus Cameron Grimes and the OC. The OC and Grimes, they win via the Magic Killer. And then post-match, they do a 2 sweet, and they ask jokingly to Grimes, where's our money? Like, who gives a shit? I feel like it's time for Cameron Grimes to be moved up to the main roster. He's stayed in NXT long enough. Move him up. So Mackenzie Mitchell, she's backstage with Veer Mahan. And she's wanting to find out answers from what happened last week when Veer was whispering in Sanga's ear. So Veer says he told his brother that Sangha, Veer says that he told his brother, my bad. So Veer says what he told his brother was for Sangha and no one else. However, for the rest of the world, so Sangha, he walks in, he interrupts and says, brother, I'm ready for this. Veer knew Sangha would be his brother. And Veer asks Mackenzie to excuse him, and they walk off. So this is probably going to lead into them reforming again, which is pretty fucking cool. Moving on. Nikita Lyons versus Zoe Stark. My bad. Nikita Lyons. No, we get a video package for Nikita Lyons and Zoe Stark. So they're jabbing back and forth with KC Squared. So Lyons says they're getting the shot they've been wanting. And Stark says the champs don't think they're a real team, but next week they'll prove them wrong. Carter says Stark and Lyons will not feel what it's like to think it's their time when it's not. Chen says it's easy to be a team when you're winning, but let's see what happens when you lose. Lyons says next week will be the better team will win, and then Chen says that's them. So, okay, that's cool. Moving on. We have a really, really good segment here. Julius Creed and Damon Kemp, they're split screen doing their interview for their ambulance match at Halloween Havoc. So, the two of them install each other. They promise to use weapons. Julius says he's more vicious and violent than Kemp, and it's time for Kemp to realize Creed is better. Julius says that Kemp peaked in high school and he isn't even the best in his family, so that's a really good jab to his brother, Gable Stevenson. So I like that. Kemp says he knew that he was better than Julius the day he walked into the diamond mine, and Creed knew it. Julius said this won't be a match or a fight. It'll be an eradication of a cancer that's plagued him for 5 months. Julius says there'll be no remorse or sympathy set on Saturday. The only thing he will feel is the handle of the ambulance door closing. Creed takes off his mic and he dips out. And then Damon Kemp says, he taunts Julius and says that Brutus will be in the unemployment line after Saturday because he's going to be out of a job. So then we get some nonsense. Some real fuckery nonsense. And Shotzi. So involving Shotzi Blackheart, Quincy Elliott, and Zion Quinn. So Shotzi, she comes out with her tank. Everyone's glad to have her back. So she hyped up her match along with Raquel to take on Damage Control. Then Shotzi, she howls. So out comes Zion Quinn. He says that he welcomes her back, and if she wants Saturday night to be box office, he'll be her co-host. So Quincy Elliott, he comes out. What the fuck? So he says that he's a big fan of Shotzi, and he calls her a ballsy ass girl who isn't afraid to step on toes. Elliott says as much as he'd love to see Quinn in a Halloween costume, he's not the co-host, as she needs a bona fide scream queen. What the fuck? Oh my god. She needs to ride to the ring with a super diva. And then so Shotzi makes the match official, and she said, let's up the stakes. Winner gets to be the co-host of Halloween Havoc. And then we get Zion Quinn versus Quincy Elliott. Oh my god, what the fuck? Quincy Elliott wins. I feel so bad for Zion Quinn. I really do. I want to know whose cornflakes did he piss in. What the fuck are they doing with Zion Quinn? Like, really? We get a Chase U segment. So Thea Hale, she can't get over the fact she lost to Connor James last week. She let Mr. Stone distract her. She let her guard down. So Buddy Haywood says, don't worry. So Andre Chase says he's going to get another match, give her another match with Kiana James. And then Chase tells her they're going to discuss it after class. And so Andre gives them a history lesson about Halloween Havoc. And he says that their weekend homework is to watch Saturday's big main event. Out of nowhere, Chucky appears for the second time of the night. And he shocks the students. He insults them. Bodie, he belittles Chucky, and then Chucky says some really crazy shit. I don't know what he said. I think he may have said, I'm going to cut your dick off or whatever. I don't know. And then Chucky says it's a teaching moment. And then Thea Hale asks, what the fuck? So, that was pretty cool. Next, Picture of Poison. Match 2. Cora Jade versus Raquel Rodriguez. Or Raquel Rodriguez. So, Cora Jade wins via disqualification. Raquel uses the black kendo stick that's wielded by Jade. Then Roxanne, she comes out and she gets a little bit of comeuppance. And she stands tall with Raquel, hoisting her up on her shoulders. Then we get a bunch of NXT guys hanging out. So Briggs and Jensen, Aki Manjiro, Fallon Henley, and others. So they joke about Halloween Havoc drinking games. Somebody's walking on their hands, whoever that is, and it's a bunch of nonsense. This should have happened earlier on in the night. Then we get the Kevin Owens show. So JD, he comes out. And, JD McDonough, he's out. So he says that in 4 days he'll be called NXT champion. JD says Owens is wrong, and he hasn't done anything to start a plot. He's earned the title shot. He points out how Braun and Ilya are the ones who started things, and they keep pounding their chest over who's the toughest in NXT. So Ilya says he wasn't aiming for JD last week, but he hit Braun. That wasn't a mistake. And so he stood over Braun. He says he stood over Braun and watched him struggle for air, and in that moment he realized Braun is human. He saw the chink in the armor of a great warrior and knew Braun is beatable. That torpedo was meant for Braun at Worlds Collide, but he will feel it again Saturday at Halloween Havoc. Ilya says he'll capture the title that should have been his in the first place. So Braun says over his dead body, he felt the torpedo, and he knows how no one's been able to keep Ilya down except the spear last week. And then Braun knows that Ilya had to relinquish the title, and he said he feels bad for him on that. He knows Ilya wants the title back, but too damn bad. If you want a friend, go get a dog. And then Kevin Owens, he basically shits all over JD McDonough, says that nobody wants him to win the title at all. Nobody, not him, not any other former NXT champion, not even his own mom. I'm like, damn. And then Ilya says to JD that he'll always be a contender, but never a champion. That was a good-ass line. And so Ilya and Braun continue to jawjack. Then everything breaks down. They brawl. So Kevin Owens, he destroys his own set. He dips out. So Braun and Ilya, they come to blows first. Braun eats a torpedo, and then JD attempts to do Devil Inside. Then he eats a torpedo, and then we hear the music of Austin Theory play as Ilya celebrates, and Austin has a sick smile on his face, and we go off the air. So that was an okay episode, I would say. Now, I want to talk about the Austin Theory thing real quick. So, Austin Theory being there to me is okay. They're not using him correctly on Raw, on the main roster. He was used correctly when Vince was in charge. Triple H, for whatever reason, has some type of vendetta against Austin Theory. And I do think that with Austin Theory being involved in this is great for Braun Breaker. Braun has lost a ton of credibility. He's not what he once was. And I think that having him chase the title for a second time would actually be tremendous. Because Braun, in my opinion, got caught up far too quickly to the main roster. And I feel like if we have Austin Theory win on Saturday, and then we have Braun chase, and then kind of fail in dethroning Austin Theory, we could have him be sent to the main roster for the second time, that being Braun Breaker. He was on Raw a few months ago. He was on Raw back in what? The second week or third week in April? So, there's that, but I'm fine with it, though. I kind of am fine with it. So let's go ahead and get into the Halloween Havoc pre-show. My bad. The Halloween Havoc show, the match card. Give me 1 second. So, we only have about 6 matches, which isn't really a lot, which is actually good. So, in no particular order, Cora Jade versus Roxanne Perez, spin the wheel, weapons wild match. Roxanne Perez is obviously going to win, and they'll probably conclude the feud. It'll be over with probably next year. I want to say at New Year's Evil. So I do expect Roxanne Perez to win, and it'll be 1-1 after that. Speaking of spin the wheel, make the deal, let's continue on that. Apollo Crews versus Grayson Waller. I think Apollo Crews is going to win. I feel that Grayson Waller should be higher on the card, in my opinion. He really should. I feel like he's just there just to be there. The guy has all the tools, and he could really be a main eventer in NXT. But in all honesty, I think he should be on the main roster. Really, I truly do. Julius Creed versus Damon Kemp, ambulance match. Brutus Creed's career is on the line if he loses. He is no longer in NXT. So I think Julius will win. Obviously, it makes the most sense. Mandy Rose versus Alba Fire for the NXT Women's Championship. Mandy Rose, obviously. I still think that Nikita Lyons will be the one to dethrone Mandy Rose. I'm still sticking with that. And it all really points to it if you think about it. I don't see Lyons or Zoe Stark actually dethroning KC Squared next week. Same thing with Ina Fey and Malik Blade dethroning Pretty Deadly. That's not going to happen either. So, yeah. The 5-way ladder match for the NXT North American Championship. Von Wagner, Nathan Frazier, Oro Mensah, Wesley, Carmelo Hayes. My 2 picks to win, either pick one, Wesley, and as a dark horse, probably Von Wagner. Probably Nathan Frazier. But Wesley will probably win. You can kind of tell the story and continue it. Everyone else doesn't really need to be in here because they all kind of mimic each other, except for Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes is another one that should be in the main event scene, in my opinion. It's time for him to be on in the main event scene. It really is. Speaking of the main event, Ilya Dragunov versus JD McDonough versus Braun Breaker, triple threat for the NXT Championship. Braun is going to retain. And then I do suspect that we probably will see Austin Theory get involved somehow and pin someone. Probably pin Braun and become the new champion. And we'll have Braun chase from now until probably the Royal Rumble. And he might win it back probably around New Year's Evil. So they'll probably go that route, which actually makes sense. So there's that. Then you could also potentially have Tyler Bate get involved as well. We haven't seen Tyler Bate in like 3 or 4 weeks as well. So it's been a while since we've seen Tyler Bate. I don't know if he's injured or not, but he's not been seen in a while. But all in all, this was an okay show. So no, thank you guys for watching. Please hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe for my videos. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.